It's an incredibly busy time in Counter-Strike right now. The Perfect World Major RMRs literally start next week. The next month is going to be intense, high-stakes Counter-Strike action, building up to the biggest tournament left on the calendar, the culmination of a year's worth of pro play happening right before our eyes. Above all else, the Major is a celebration of Counter-Strike in every form. And right as things are about to kick off, it appears that Valve have finally teased the return of one of the game's most beloved maps. That's right, I hope you brought your ticket. It appears Train is on the horizon. My name is LionHeartZ, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to talk about the return of Train, what that's going to do to affect the current state of the competitive map pool, and most importantly, which map needs to be sacrificed for the GOAT to make his reappearance. Now I know what you're thinking, it should certainly be Vertigo, and while there's definitely a great, if not overwhelmingly great case for that, today I'm going to play devil's advocate, make everyone on Reddit hate me, and make the argument for why it should be Mirage instead. Before we do though, make sure you guys take a second, leave a like, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It helps out immensely in the YouTube algorithm, so thank you for doing it. Also, check out our new community Discord, top link in the description. Thank you as always, and without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Now, the first logical question you might be asking is, how do we know that it's Train coming back? Well, earlier this week, the official CS2 Twitter account changed its banner to an ominous picture of an asphalt road, and the only map that could possibly correlate to are the asphalt pavements of our glorious king himself, DE Train. And overall, it just makes sense, both for the current landscape of the game and what we knew back all the way during the CS2 beta. There have been rumors about Train and Cobblestone coming back for several months now, and with the upcoming hype of the Major to bolster it, this kind of significant update makes a lot of sense logistically for Valve. See, contrary to popular belief, Valve doesn't solely exist to put cheaters into every game you play. They have to keep the lights on. I mean, come on. They're a small indie development company, and how else are they going to fund the next Deadlock update? So with the Major, they gotta capitalize on that. And everybody loves Train, and one thing we can all agree upon is that the current map pool has a lot of issues. Ever since Overpass has died for our sins, I think we're all in agreement that the map pool is very puggy, very aggressive, and lacks big, tactical style maps that it used to have a lot more of a balance of. In all honesty, this is just my personal opinion, it feels like Nuke and Ancient are the only maps at present that have an extreme, high-level tactical metagame to them, whereas pretty much every other map you get by on a couple of default smokes and play around your contact plays more often than not, which I think has contributed to the overall aggressive feel of the current meta in Counter-Strike, notwithstanding other contextual issues like MR12 and the current state of the economy. Which is why I think Train is the perfect map to bring back first. As much as I want FM Pwn to be done with Cash tomorrow because I love it, it's one of my favorite maps ever, I do think Train makes the most sense to shake up the meta in a really nice and refreshing way. Train, what it ultimately boils down to, is it puts a lot of pressure on the T-side's ability to execute refined strategies to be able to take space on both the bomb sites. But at the same time, what Train has that Overpass doesn't sometimes is there is still ability to play through contacts. You can play through Ivy and make for a fast split onto A, you can play around subs and pistols, drop down into ladder room, or split through into B. There is the ability to shift gears without necessarily having to rely so much on the executes that make Overpass approachable. Playing Overpass with a team that doesn't know basic utility is tantamount to torture. On Train, you can get by, but it is still a more tactical heavy map which will help to differentiate itself in the meta. The other thing that I think is really nice about Train in the current landscape is that its bomb sites specifically have such long sightlines. One of my biggest pet peeves with the current state of CS2 is just how easily you can punish players who are full bot with subs and pistols. The MP9, the MAC-10, these guns have notoriously very high jumping accuracy, there's basically no running accuracy penalty on stuff like the Deagle or the Tech 9, and that can make rounds very volatile at all levels of play. And while there is something interesting to that, and I don't necessarily want that to go away completely, I like how Train limits your ability to get in close with these weapon archetypes unless you have very smart positioning or utility. If you're on a Tech 9 armor buy as the T side, you have to do a lot more work to blow open a round than on a map like, say, Ancient. It also brings value to lesser used weapons like the FAMAS, the AUG, the Krieg, and the Scout because of these longer sightlines, which I think will be really refreshing overall. Okay, so we all know Train would be fantastic, nobody's going to argue otherwise unless you're a new player. We all know Train is him, we all know that he's the GOAT. But the question is, just like Simple going to the Falcons, who has to step aside for greatness? Now, listen, I think everybody knows that Vertigo, to this point, has been a failed experiment. Valve have been trying, for years at this point, to make Vertigo a viable, competitive-ready map that people enjoy playing. And thus far, it has not succeeded. I will definitely never deny that. However, I do agree that there is a novelty to the layout of Vertigo that I think is worthy of exploration. If nothing else, it's a fresh and compelling design in a landscape where it feels like most map makers are trying to recapture the excellence of Mirage and Dust 2. That classic 4-box, 3-lane map style that, yes, is effective for a reason because of what it produces in terms of interesting meta gameplay, but at the same time, it doesn't produce much variety. So personally, I am actually okay with Valve continuing to iterate and change Vertigo and build it into something that's worthy of play, because I think Vertigo is honestly pretty close. I like how the mid is laid out, and the B side specifically. I think that half of the map works, has interesting flow, there's great utility that you see at the pro level, and I don't think the retakes are that awful to participate in or watch played out. The real problem with Vertigo is that the A site has been butchered. The addition of the new wall and elevator is a dramatic failure, and frankly the whole layout of the bomb site feels congested, hard to approach, hard to defend, hard to attack, and is overall the worst side of the map by a mile. Playing B side and mid, I see what they're going for, I like what they're cooking, it's the rest of the map that falls apart extremely. In my opinion, one of the best things Valve could do is just go back to the drawing board and reapproach the A side from scratch. Just fundamentally from the ground up, start over on it, preserve B and mid and stuff like the ladder room transition, and then rework the rest of the map. Then we might be looking at a Vertigo worth playing. In the meantime, I also don't think it should be the one to leave. Instead, it should be Mirage. Simply put, Mirage is the oldest map left in the game that has not received a major overhaul or rework in either CSGO or CS2. Even Dust 2 has had recent major updates like self-boosting into Catwalk on the A side, as well as the overarching changes to CS2, opening up the skybox, pretty much reinventing how you approach utility on that map in general. Mirage, however, is stagnant and has stagnated for several years, and it's getting to the point that it's very clear that nothing new will happen until there's a major shakeup with the map. Let's just call a spade a spade. At the highest level, Mirage is entirely focused on mid. Everything happens and ends in mid, and you are heavily disincentivized from going for straightforward side takes the majority of the time, because if you don't have mid control, you're going to lose that round. The layout of the map and the building architecture around it make it very annoying to smoke common choke points. Window is one of the most unnecessarily complicated smokes in the entire game, fails constantly, and of course can be body blocked by weary CTs, effectively tanking your entire round out the gate. And that's all before we get into the absolute atrocity and war crime that is the B site. The B site sucks so much that it's been a meme in the community for over a decade that the B site defender is essentially AFK playing on his phone while he waits for somebody to push A so he can rotate and have his fun. Most teams in matchmaking, Premier, and even at the highest levels in Faceit and sometimes the pro scene refuse to go B because on the T side it's an absolute nightmare choke point held through the apartments that can be easily neutralized by grenades, smokes, and molotovs, and even if you split through mid, you then have to commit more than half your utility to shut it down mid so you can even get a catwalk in the first place. The buildings are so tall that it is annoying to smoke common spots like catwalk from B apartments. Because of the geometry of boxes all over the maps, smokes and flashes will take random weird bounces and leave weird gaps all the time. It is just very much a dated, old map that has been solved to an extreme amount. Yes, it's fun to play because it's simple and straightforward. However, we've been playing Mirage the same way for going on nearly 2 decades. Now, I'm not going to sit here and claim that I have 100% factual, straightforward answers for how to solve or update Mirage, but I am going to point out that these issues are well known and most people have been complaining about them for, again, several years. The last significant update to Mirage was a goddamn bench making self-boosting into window and checking on catwalk easier. Now listen, here's the big brain take. What we do is, for right now, Mirage goes out till we get a rework in. We put in train in its place. The map pool overnight is a lot better because you have Train, Inferno, and Nuke as the more tactical forward maps. Then you have Ancient, Dust 2, Anubis, and Vertigo as these more aggressive and puggy maps. And then listen, we get into the new year. We get closer to like a spring update. FM Pwn saves the world, releases cash. We kick Vertigo to the curb because, again, I still don't like it, but I think it has more merit than Mirage right now. And then the map pool is Train, Cash, Inferno, Nuke, Ancient, Dust 2, Anubis. And that's going to be one of the best competitive map pools for the last several years. Fight me. That's the end of the video. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe as usual. Argue with me in the comments, you cowards. I know this is a fiery hot take because most of you have been queuing only Mirage, Dust 2, and Inferno for the last 8 years. I know who you are. And listen, I'm here to disassemble your entire matchmaking history. God damn it. These videos are powered by advanced.gg. Check the link in the description down below. Browse any of their excellent products. If you decide to make a purchase, you can use my code LIONS10 at checkout for 10% off. I also work with Refrag. Refrag are by far the best self-improvement platform in CS. If you're looking to take your game to the next level, consider getting a Refrag subscription. If you do, use my code LION15 for 15% at checkout. Thank you to Refrag. Also, shout out to my channel members, Justin, Jesse, Furley, Bubblesj, Milan Berta, and Dr. Cocktor. If you want to support me directly, you can do so at the link in the description. Become a channel member today. Lastly, join the community Discord. Come hang out with me directly. Follow me on Twitch. I stream Sunday through Friday at 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. All that good stuff. I'll see you guys soon with another video. Peace.